Do you still remember the old toad with a mustache, purple clothing, a walking stick and glasses? His name was Toadsworth. For many years, Toadsworth was a loyal companion to Princess Peach and had become an important part of the Mario universe. But when you look at today's Mario games, he is nowhere to be found. He hasn't just quietly disappeared, he's been practically erased from history. But why did that actually happen? Toadsworth first appeared back in 2002 in Super Mario Sunshine. He played a fairly important role in that game. He supported Princess Peach with her duties, and was constantly by her side as her companion. This was especially important because Mario Sunshine wanted to expand Princess Peach's story, while she had a relatively minor role in Mario 64. I mean, did she do anything besides writing a letter? She was supposed to be more heavily involved in the story of Mario Sunshine. To give Peach more characterization, Nintendo expanded her story, and Toadsworth became an important part of her surroundings. After his debut in Super Mario Sunshine, Toadsworth quickly became a regular part of the Mario universe. Nintendo wanted to establish him as an important part of the series, so he appeared in many other games over the following years. In many of these games, however, his role was pretty minor. For example, in Mario Kart Double Dash, he wasn't a playable character, but instead drove the kart during the ceremony. His greatest importance arguably came in the various Mario RPGs. He made occasional appearances in both the Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi series, which helped make Toadsworth stand out a bit. But then something strange happened. He simply disappeared. In modern games, there's no sign of him, and even in the spin-offs, he's nowhere to be found. I think there are multiple reasons for this. For one, Toadsworth was no longer relevant to the main games, as the adventure in Super Mario Galaxy went into outer space. The story's focus shifted somewhat, because the game was no longer just about Mario and Peach, but also brought Rosalina into the spotlight. Her story became the main focus, so Nintendo probably didn't want to waste time unnecessarily incorporating Toadsworth. And since Mario Galaxy ended up getting 2 games, Toadsworth became irrelevant for quite some time. On top of that, Toadsworth wasn't exactly popular. People knew him as the Toad who stood by Princess Peach's side, but he never reached the same level of popularity as the truly major characters of the series. For that, his role in the main games was simply too small, and to be honest, he just wasn't that interesting of a character. He essentially had his own little role in Super Mario Sunshine and appeared in the spin-offs for a while, but he never had a particularly interesting personality or an elaborate backstory. Now compare that to Rosalina's story, who is an absolute key figure in the Galaxy games, and has since become one of the most popular characters in the series. Toadsworth simply couldn't compete with that. Additionally, Nintendo seems to follow a different character design strategy these days, especially when it comes to Toads. Nintendo seems to believe that they don't really need unique designs. This is particularly noticeable in the Mario RPGs and has been a topic for discussion for a while now. While for example Paper Mario 2 featured tons of different unique Toad designs, newer games in the series have to make do with mostly the standard designs. And when unusual Toads do show up, they usually just have different clothes on, rather than having truly unique designs like in the older games. But here's the thing, they don't just no longer include him in new games. They seem to be actively trying to erase his existence. Just a few days ago, Nintendo announced the Switch Online release of Super Mario Sunshine, and for this occasion, remade an old artwork from the game. Mario and Peach are still there, but there's no sign of Toadsworth whatsoever. And that's really strange, because Mario Sunshine is, after all, the game where Toadsworth made his first appearance. This led to a lot of fans asking why Nintendo seems to be so determined to hide his existence. On the one hand, I can understand that he's no longer interesting to Nintendo, and that they don't want to integrate him into the mainline games anymore. But at the same time, they could at least keep him around in the spin-offs, giving him appearances in the Mario RPGs, Mario Party, or the Mario sports games. Especially in Mario Kart World, where practically every random enemy got a spot on a roster, he would have been far more interesting than many of the other characters. In the end, Toadsworth is a character who used to be important back in the day, but nowadays doesn't play much of a role anymore. Fans occasionally ask about him, but I'm curious, do you miss him?